Welcome guys to another ADV China. We're going to be taking you through some pretty interesting places here. We're going to be translating some of the signs, the propaganda, that kind of thing. But we're in a completely different place because the last two videos we were down south. You know, yeah, we were kind of in Hunan and we were down in Guangxi and places like, Guizhou. Yeah, we obviously went through Guangxi and stuff, but this time we're very, very far away. We're in a city called Qingdao, at least on the outskirts. Maybe you can introduce the area we're in?
Yeah, so Qingdao is in Shandong province. Shandong is a coastal region of northern China. So Qingdao actually used to be a German concession, and Winston and I went up there to check out some of the Qingdao brewery. When we checked out the German caves that were built in World War One.
Before World War One.
Before World War One. Yeah. And the whole area was a German concession for a while, so there's a lot of cool German architecture when you're there. That being said, there's still a lot of influence left over from that because it had such good infrastructure. Qingdao is one of the wealthier cities in China. Yeah. And this area that we're in is called Laoshan. Laoshan is about 18 kilometers outside of downtown. Yeah. And it's known for having a very clean water table. Yeah. So
it's very rare in China.
Very rare. So if anywhere you go around in China, you'll find Laoshan mineral water. Yeah. And then Qingdao beer, like you said. And then all of these things are basically make up Qingdao in general. Yeah. They speak a northern dialect of Chinese, so there's a lot of erhua. So they say zainar, which means where, instead of zainali down south.
Exactly. I really don't like the sound of that accent.
Erhua,
I've got a very strong opinion about erhua, but whatever.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, so this is where we are, and we are just outside where they ban motorcycles.
Yeah, so Qingdao downtown, obviously it's banned. The majority of Qingdao motorcycles are banned. But once you get into the outskirts, this happens in a lot of cities around China. The outskirts, they still allow it begrudgingly because, you know, most people cannot afford, your lower income families, even some middle class, they cannot afford a car. So their main form of transport would be public transport, buses and stuff, or a motorcycle because they're cheap. The problem is, of course, they don't want these motorcycles coming into the city and cluttering the place up, but it's difficult to get rid of them because, you know, so many people rely on them. So we're in an area that still allows motorcycles, but there's a line that if you cross, your motorcycle gets, confiscated immediately.
Now, just to set this up so you guys understand, again, one of the most wealthy areas of China. So this is going to be a stark contrast to what you saw in the last two episodes.
Absolutely.
So let's get started.
Yeah, let's get right into it. So let's see what's going on in the background here. We have a couple of shops here. There is a, Jiansheng Yuan Huoguo. So I guess Jiansheng Yuan is just the name of it. It's a hot pot restaurant. We got a Motorchehui, which is a motorbike club over there. A couple of other things. But what we're actually doing here is we're on our way to fill up with petrol. Hang on.
For most people.
Do you want to talk about the license plates?
Just to set you guys up, remember we talked about in the last episode, every license plate in China, each province will have its own character. The character is usually an ancient character. So the ancient character for the Shandong region, where we are, is Lu. And this Lu character is what you'll see here. And Lu B is Qingdao. Yeah. That means the city of Qingdao.
Yeah, the B, actually, it's interesting. A means the capital.
Yes.
And B would be like the second most important. So Shenzhen is Yue B and Yue A is Guangzhou, which is the capital of Guangdong. Yeah, so that's kind of how you tell it.
I like this guy's car, by the way. It's got a fart cannon on a fake Lancer. That has a rally art sticker on there because they try to make it into a real Mitsubishi Lancer.
Well, it's a direct copy of a Lancer. It's the Southeast. Remember, it's Southeast is the English name. You get a lot of these knockoff cars, and people just put on badges on them and then kind of, make it look like the real thing's kind of funny.
He tried to put a wing on there and everything to make it
later.
But a lot of these parts are interchangeable because it's that much of a copy.
Oh, it is a copy. It's a complete copy. Yeah. But they're terrible. Don't think you can buy one. It'll be okay. Okay, what we got up there? Shazikou and we actually nearby here is that mountain that we went up to go into the tunnels.
So Laoshan, a very beautiful area actually, amazing views of Qingdao. Yeah. But we climbed up that mountain. This is pretty much where we are.
Yeah. So anyway, we have to go fill up with petrol, and it was quite the task. I'll tell you that much. And this is going to show you a lot about what it's like to actually deal with this whole surveillance state and the way China's going.
I was going to say this is one of our first introductions to how stark and unbelievable and oppressive the surveillance state became around this time. Yeah, under Xi Jinping's rule.
Just looking, there's a couple walking down the side of the road. Yeah, just kind of over here where there's nothing. Yeah, let's see, what does this sign say over here?
It says 单位驻地坚持慢行, which just means
construction up ahead, drive slowly, you know, that kind of thing.
Area,
All right.
That's the high-speed rail, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. There's high-speed rail. You know, China's very famous for that. Their high-speed rail network's amazing. And we have a little bit of propaganda on the side of that the building. Yeah, what does that say?
This is 发展在Qingdao里, which...
Yeah, it just means like development is the bottom line.
发展 is like a development. This word is something you'll hear in English and in Chinese all over China. And yes,
you got the Development Bank of China.
Everything is 发展.
Construction Bank of China. That's Jianshi.
More money, more 发展.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, don't look that up.
Yeah.
Anyway, development as a bottom line is probably the most honest bit of propaganda I've ever seen in China, because it's development at all costs.
Yeah.
At all costs.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What is that building attached to? It says something else up there. It's
that's a driving school.
Just a driving school, yeah. Cool. All right. See if there's anything else interesting. I'm curious about that building up on the left there.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
It looks cool, though.
Hang on. I think we missed something on the bus stop there. Bus stops are a great place to search for propaganda as well, by the way.
They'll often post that there. Oh, yeah, I can read that. That's a bit... Let me squint a little bit there. It says 你我携手.
You and me hand in hand, basically.
共创国家食品安全城市. Which
so
means,
it's about food safety.
Yeah, so basically it says, you and me hand in hand, let's create China's food safety city. So this is the thing we should explain.
Yeah.
They'll have blah, blah, blah city.
Yes.
So, for example, so like Huizhou, where I used to live, is called 中国文明城市, which means...
Shenzhen.
I know, there's probably a lot of these too.
Yeah.
That means China's civilized city. Now, they'll give this title to a lot of places, and people will be like, our city is China's civilized city, but then all the other cities are called that too.
Yeah.
Our China's, a lot of those places in Hainan are called China's green city.
Yeah.
China's ocean city. This one, in Qingdao, what they're trying to say is, let's create a food safety city.
Yeah.
Ironically, I got food poisoning multiple times in Qingdao, but anyway.
That's the whole point. If you have to tell people common sense like this, like let's make food safety a priority, basically.
Yes.
That the propaganda is saying we must make a food safety city. It just shows you that the food safety is a big issue there. Right. That's something I find a lot about the propaganda around China is it's common sense stuff, first of all, that you would never think about. You don't see billboards up in America saying, like, let's make sure we don't poison our customers at the restaurant.
Seriously.
It's basically what it's saying. And with a lot of things, it'll be like, let's make it a civilized city. That means it's not civilized. Right? So you got to look at it. Every time they're telling you to do something, that means it's a problem that needs to be addressed.
The irony here is that Qingdao is actually one of the cleanest and best food hygiene
Absolutely.
cities.
Like down south in Guangdong,
it's way worse.
And it's tropical heat there, so everything goes off, and they leave the meat out in the sun and stuff.
Yeah, so keep in mind, we're on the top of the pops for China, where we are here.
You can see on the right-hand side there, KTV. Everyone knows karaoke. That's where you go to party.
Dodgy one.
It's probably dodgy, yeah. I mean, it's in a construction
site. You know what happened? And when I was, this is crazy, but some of the universities I worked at, there would be KTVs and then small hotels across the street.
Yeah.
And a lot of the girls that work at the university, the hot girls, the pretty ones, they would go part-time work at these places as hostesses and other things as well.
I mean, yeah. What is that dude doing up on the high-speed rail up there, by the way? See, there's just a guy.
Just hanging out. Hanging out, waiting to get run over by a train, apparently.
Yeah, what is he doing? Is he a construction worker, maybe?
The rail's done, though. I don't understand. They're doing some maintenance, obviously.
Yeah, they've got some kind of cage over there, so hopefully he's okay. Yeah, I'm just.
There's a Chinese stop sign.
Oh, yeah.
It says Ting.
Dude,
stop.
This is actually an issue. Quite a lot of Chinese tourists cause accidents because they don't stop at stop signs. And that's just... I did a video about this ages ago. But maybe it's because in China they don't use the word stop on them. They just use the Chinese word ting, which means to stop.
I think it's kind of interesting because a lot of countries I went to, I think it was Thailand, a bunch of other countries, they use stop. It says stop on English. Yeah, it says stop in English. But anyway, even this sign, this is quite rare in China.
Yeah, and also, can you explain to me how it works? Because look where it's facing.
Apparently, as a pedestrian, you're supposed to stop in the middle of the crosswalk.
I know, that makes no sense, because if you're driving out of that road, you don't stop because you can't see the sign. You're not stopping on this main road.
No.
So it's useless. No wonder, Chinese tourists don't stop at stop signs, because they don't make sense.
You'll often see road instructions that are completely wrong.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, you'll see it. I'm sure we'll see more in the video.
Absolutely, I'm sure we will. Okay. Looks like quite a couple of young people walking around here. It's still...
Qingdao's a young city.
Yeah, I want to know what that building is on the left. Looks kind of cool.
It looks nice. Yeah, it really does look nice.
Also, take a look at this. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, look at the road first.
Yeah, look. It's telling us to U-turn.
What did I just say?
Okay, yeah, it's telling us to U-turn. I would like to try a U-turn right there and see what happens. Probably not good.
Into oncoming... Do you know those, like, those freaking videos? What is that website called?
Live Leak?
Live Leak?
Yeah.
That's why you see live leaks all the time.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, obviously, this was probably a road that's been extended or something, and they didn't take care of it, but that doesn't make sense. But see how they put like fake trees on the side? I actually like that. It's better than the blue corrugated iron stuff that they usually put up.
If I crop that, it'll look like a man is lost in the forest.
I don't think anyone would ever buy that. Like,
well,
I'll
make it happen with some video magic.
Okay, let's see how that works out, shall we? Hang on, there's some propaganda.
We got some selfies in front of the propaganda. Why are they taking selfies in front of the propaganda?
I don't know. Anyway,
that says 中国文化, which means Chinese culture. 中国智慧, which means like
wisdom.
Yeah.
So, okay, Chinese culture, Chinese wisdom. Take a look. You see that sign? The road signs up there. Can you see all the cameras on top?
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're not all cameras. A lot of that is traffic counters. Like there's little, you see those 4 little things? Those are traffic counters. So, you know, like on Baidu Maps or Google Maps or whatever, when it can tell you if there's a lot of traffic or something, that's what's feeding that data.
Sure.
But there are actual cameras there too.
Right. You're correct.
So...
Yeah, you can't get away with anything.
No.
You'll get that bill. I remember one time I got a mail. I rented an apartment. I got the guy that lived there before me was from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But he was living in mainland for his factory.
Right.
And there was probably 150 bills for speed cameras and all these kind of things that he just ran away from mainland China and didn't pay for them.
Every subject from A to Z. Don't you know I'm superior? I'm so much better than you. Simply put, superior. I will be on in within you.
Don't get carried away by internet security threats. Use NordVPN. Here at ADV China, we make using a VPN an everyday affair. We got to make sure that our data is safe because what a VPN does is actually encrypts all of your information so that nobody on the outside can see what you're doing, whether it's credit card information or, whatever you're doing on the internet. We make sure that the VPN that we choose is NordVPN. Super easy to use. You can hop around all over the world to different servers. And actually, if there's certain countries that are blocking certain information or streaming services that won't let you watch a show that's not available in your country, you can hop around to a different server and actually access that. Don't forget to go to nordvpn.com/ADVChina and you'll get a huge discount off of a 2-year plan. And don't forget to use the code ADVChina. You'll actually get an additional month free. And don't forget, all of this is completely risk-free because you get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Yeah, that's super frustrating. I used to have to go pay them all the time. And then you get those ones that take the points off and you have to go into the traffic.
And then pay for your points. You can bribe people to take your points away off your license.
They've cracked down on that. But
you can still do that.
Sure, but I remember when I went in Shenzhen, I went to the traffic department to pay because they have points. There's a 12-point system. If you get those 12 points off, your license gets cancelled for the year.
Right.
So I had a bunch of points and I had more than 12 because, whatever. I was parking in a place I didn't realize and they were taking 6 points each time. So there were these like middle-aged women out there and they were like selling points. And what they would do is they'd come in with you and they'd say like, I was driving the car at the time, take them off my license. Right. They can't drive, by the way. No. They just went through whatever ways to get licenses.
They bought their license.
And so they've got, it's a really crazy kind of thing.
They still do that, dude. They absolutely still do that.
I know they've cracked down on it a lot, though. So, props where it's due.
Still happening.
Okay, so...
That guy was lost in the forest as well. So we're...
Hang on. What's on this truck here?
This is Jiaguan.
So basically, they're just basically the services that they do. So like iron pipes and blah blah blah, normal crap like that.
中国文化, I saw that over there again.
Oh yeah.
It's Chinese culture, Chinese wisdom thing. Oh, there's a building. Hold on.
Dashe.
It says 中国海洋大学. Okay, so that's you know what's funny is I applied to work at this school.
What, there?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was looking
Why?
for jobs up north, it's a really good university.
Oh, okay.
It's like top 50 in China. It's Ocean University. China's
Okay.
ocean. They study what's it called? Marine biology.
Okay, oceanography.
I wasn't going to teach marine biology, by the way. They have other positions at the university. But
Yeah,
I
guess
didn't get that
it'd
job.
be kind of tough to study, marine biology since it's mostly been wiped out around the coast.
Well, I think
there,
maybe it's to make it more efficient at doing so.
okay, maybe.
I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm joking.
But yeah, there's obviously some students coming across here. Probably going to go visit that dodgy KTV, hang around in the construction site,
It's very
that kind of
atmospheric
thing.
area. That was one
Yeah.
of those crap electric cars.
Oh, those little EVs, yeah, that yellow thing.
Go like 30 kilometers range.
In the smaller, like when you get out of the big cities, you start to see that kind of thing. Like in the rural countryside, you'll see these ridiculous little electric cars.
Or gas.
Or all these like 3-wheeled little like motorcycle
those
engine
all the
powered.
time.
Yeah.
In some of the northern cities up north, they'll put like physical heaters in them. Physical heaters in them. It's freezing. They'll have those gloves as mittens on the handlebars.
Yeah, it's funny. Okay, yeah. It's just a different world when you get out of the big cities.
It is.
But this is a big city.
very
This is-
affluent.
absolutely.
Top 1% of China.
Yeah. We got some scaffolding here. We've got, hang on.
We got a little camera. Let's see what that says.
Oh, okay.
It says 智能抓拍系统运行信中亲手发停车.
I like the joie.
Yeah.
Because joie means to grab.
Right.
Like a little kid will joie the sweets off of a plate or something. Or those IEs, the grab hags,
Yes.
like the shrimp or whatever,
Yeah.
they'll joie the hell out of that.
Yeah.
So
Zhua
anyway,
means to grab
yeah, it means
or
to
capture.
grab.
Yeah.
And in fact, the character's quite interesting. It kind of looks like a little
Claw. It does.
grabbing
It
something.
does.
But anyway, like that basically means it's a traffic camera. It's a smart traffic camera, and it will catch you if you don't obey the law, the traffic laws. It's basically saying
To stop your
car
legally, yeah.
by law,
Right.
or you will get caught, on the camera.
That guy's rocking his safety hat pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's like being a little bit rebellious.
Yeah, no, I'm glad he's wearing it.
true.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue on.
DE.
Yeah.
Safety first.
Yeah, Anchuan San.
So we're going to keep going through. Again, a lot of this is the high-speed rail everywhere.
Yeah, I'm seeing some. Dude, Gongchan Dan Hao, Gongchan Dan. That says the Communist Party is good.
See, I almost didn't see this, and I'll tell you why. What you're looking at right now is propaganda, but it's very different than the propaganda we've showed you in the other cities.
Yeah, usually it's like a red banner
It's
with
just in
white
your
writing.
face.
It's just very basic, very simple, right?
Now, the reason that they did dress it up here to make it look like some other random advertisement or art
Yeah.
is because Qingdao is an affluent and educated city. So what happens in these areas is it's a tough sell to sell them Maoist rural propaganda.
Yeah.
When they see that kind of stuff, there's aversion to it.
Sure.
Because they say, well, that just communism and the Communist Party of China, that's kind of like old school Mao, like it's poor.
Yeah.
But when you dress it up and you're like, I'm surrounded by development, and then they use the Communist Party is good in that kind of artistic font and surround it with this mystique and feeling, then the people will say, oh, now the Communist Party is not associated with destruction and poverty. It's associated with richness and culture.
Yeah.
And so they throw this propaganda amongst other like culture and poetry and things like this.
I gotta say again, if you have to say the Communist Party is good,
Right.
it means it's bad.
Right.
'Cause you know what I mean? You have to be like, hey guys, look, it's actually good.
You have to point it out.
Yeah, we're going to point that out to you. The
Right.
Communist Party is good. And I actually want to bring something up before we continue here.
Sure.
If you cannot understand Chinese, okay, and let's just say you're just visiting, or maybe you live here in Qingdao or something, or whatever, or you're there on a tour or something, and you go past a sign like this, you would not know that is saying the Chinese Communist Party is good. You would just think
Right.
it's just some cultural thing or some kind of artistic thing. You wouldn't know. So, unless you can understand the language in China, you really don't have a clue about what's going on around you. A lot of nefarious propaganda and a lot of
Sure.
bullshit that you would skip over because you don't understand it. You just live in a little bubble thinking everything's cool.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. Yeah.
And you're going to see now when we get to this petrol station finally just how ridiculous
gotten,
it gets, And again, if you're not there filling up your bike, or you're not the one talking to the locals, interacting with the locals in Chinese, you wouldn't understand what a hassle it is for the local people.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue on.
That says 中后传甲酒是数即时长. Sorry, it's very small.
I'm having a little bit of trouble translating that one. It's something about family loyalty being written in poems.
Yeah, so it's like basically if you're loyal and honest, then you'll be written about in history.
Right.
The thing is, for a long time or whatever. The thing is, that has nothing to do with propaganda, but that is in the same propaganda series as the Communist Party is good.
Yeah, it's using the same font. It's on the same wall.
It's on the same stuff. The reason that they do that is it's not to mask it, it's to be part of. They want to attribute the Communist Party with.
They're using the word loyalty in there, so that's obviously got
party,
got to be loyal to the party. So it is definitely related. You know, the thing is, in China, the Chinese language, knowing a lot about idioms and sayings and stuff is very important. Of course, that shapes the language. The culture shapes the language. It's something you need to know. Although the Communist Party of China destroyed all of the history and culture of China, now what they're trying to do is they're trying to give China an identity.
Yeah.
And, up until now, the identity of China has been this kind of Communist Party bad knockoff of the Soviet Union.
Yeah,
so the
nothing Chinese about it.
Yeah, CCCP became the CCP. I mean, you look at all the uniforms that they wear, all the mouse suits, all this stuff. Just looks like Stalin and Lenin and all this crap. It looks the same, right? All the uniforms look the same as the Soviet Union. The way they do everything, their little marches with all their rockets and everything, it's exactly the same as the Soviet Union. But they're trying very desperately to find their own identity, and unfortunately they wiped that out. They were anti their own identity.
Right.
Mao even tried to get rid of Chinese characters.
Right.
To replace them with ABC,
Right.
which, back in the day, the Soviets convinced them not to do.
Right.
You should thank the Soviets for having your language, really,
Right.
in China. But yeah, it's kind of bizarre and interesting how they've tried to latch on to the culture which they previously tried so hard to destroy.
Well, because there's no legitimacy, right?
Yeah, and they're trying to twist it now.
Yeah. We celebrate Chinese culture.
But they're twisting it to work in their favor. So it's like the poems and stuff are now about glorifying the party rather than the good meanings behind them that they originally had.
Good point.
Oh, dude. You see this one on the side here? I recognize this.
一滴汗一粒量.
It means 1 drop of sweat equals 1 grain of grain, basically. So it means put in the hard work to get your reward. But that's when you start to see propaganda about food, and I'm not talking about food safety here. I'm talking about like, let's make a grain of rice or grain of grain, with our own sweat. Then you're dealing with communism.
Of course.
I mean, look, they are obsessed with wheat.
Wheat, it's everywhere.
That's why you've got the sickle. It's all about reaping the wheat or whatever,
It's all about iron and wheat.
Yeah, it's like hit
and
some
in this case,
steel
rice.
and get some. Yeah, it's terrible though, because when you're dealing with that, when they have to put propaganda about working hard to create food. I know the meaning of it is like basically,
of course.
You get your reward by putting in the hard work, but that you're dealing with a terrible system, that people are just almost on the brink of starvation because they have to focus so much on food.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I was born out of that.
Yeah, I bet you if you Google that specific saying, you would find that exact picture.
Yeah, I mean, that's Mao era, right?
Yeah, I mean, I recognize that because I've seen that before.
Yeah, it looks familiar.
Yeah, I've seen that exact picture before. So yeah, let's put it up for people to see.
Oh, it's Ziji Dongshou. That means like do things yourself.
Yeah, which means like
self-move hand.
Move your hand by yourself.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit dodgy. Move your hand by yourself. Okay.
Don't use They did ban sex dolls.
They did.
Yeah. Oh, sex doll brothels.
A little bit of info for you guys out there. DAF-AG or shoot the planes.
It means self.
It just means to jerk off.
Think
about it, because you shoot the plane.
Yeah, I don't want to demonetize.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah.
You guys can figure it out.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's good to know.
Yeah.
Just
hit the plane.
Yeah. Hit the plane. Hit the plane. Mm-hmm. It's more like shoot the plane, isn't it?
Shoot the plane. Yeah.
Because da can also mean shoot.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah. Even though it's hit, but.
Yeah. The guy's just chilling out in his car.
Yeah, a little mianbao show over there.
Bread car.
Yeah.
That's what they're called.
That's what it is. Okay.
So basically, we're going to be rolling into the gas station now. What we wanted to tell you before we go into this is there is a huge problem in China with motorcycles in general.
Sure.
But I want you guys to see past this. Now, the whole point is that we're going to struggle to get gas because of the surveillance state set up. But I want you to see that this has implications beyond just getting gas. This is set up to be so much more than that. And this is when we first started seeing how bad Xi Jinping's regime was getting with just some of the most mundane things. So we're about to go in a gas station to find out that not only do we have to fill it up with a teapot away from
which we'll talk about that a little later when we can actually see it. Yeah.
But we're going to have to register with our passport and our residence permits, show where we live, get our photo taken by cameras everywhere and our videos taken, tell our license plate, have our bikes filmed at the actual place where we fill it up, and have all of that information go to the central government to buy $8 worth of gas.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason is they are petrified and terrified of people using petrol or gasoline in Molotov cocktails and to burn things and to rise up against the government or anything like that. So they have to have a tight control over who gets gas. You cannot buy a jerry can in China. You cannot fill up a jerry can. No. You can only fill up your car, and that's that. Yep. It's so ridiculous that a client of mine who just bought a car, she drove the car without knowing, because, it's a new car driver, not knowing that when the fuel light comes on, you got to go fill up. So she basically ran it empty. She managed to park in her underground parking, but the car wouldn't start because it was out of gas. She had to get a towing company to come with a flatbed to pick her car up, take it to the gas station to fill it up, because you're not allowed to take a jerry can. You're not allowed to go to the petrol station, fill up a jerry can to go fill up your lawnmower. Well, you don't have lawnmowers in China, but you know what I mean? You can't go fill up your car.
Concrete mower.
So if you break down on the side of the road, you have to get towed to a gas station to fill your car. It's ridiculous.
Now this, again, the implications are so much more than this, and you have to see what kind of bullshit we had to go through.
Yeah, so we're just going to let this clip play, guys. So bear with us. We will...
see on the other side?
Yeah, we'll pop in every once in a while to talk, but we're just going to do this. So let's go ahead. Yeah, here it is, dude. Kingpin or whatever.
Shit.
King Peck.
King Peck. It's a massive peck.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we have to use our passports. And see if this is true.
GOR? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 那边吗? Oh. We have to go to the special...
Motor2. Is this like Teapotville again?
They love this shit. Yep, Teapot land.
Yeah, I see a fucking teapot right there, don't I?
Don't swear.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Hey, look, they've got a little camera and everything.
Really?
Yeah, they're really sorted out here.
Okay, well, let's fill her up, eh? I'll get one, you get one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be one. Like, let's just fill one of these.
You don't think it's going to be one whole one?
No way, dude.
Well, we know how many liters. Our tank fits 9 liters, so let's get like 7.
Yeah, about 7 liters should do the trick.
Yeah.
GR.
对。对对对。大概加多少钱呢？大概是7升。对。
Is it really 7 liters? I don't think so.
I think so. 不知道这个的普通的摩托车有多少，因为我们在广东没有这个。加7升。7升不。
7升对。
不知道我们摩托车是多大的。
加40块钱了。
40块钱应该可以啊。
对对。
好
30块30块。
No,
because it's normally 40 to full.
Okay, 30块。
30块30块。
一个30，两个30。
对对对对。
好。
麻烦到里面登记一下。
好。
大厅里面登记一下。
好。Yeah, 登记。
Really?
Yep.
What, do they fill our bikes for us?
No, we got a 登记 without 身份证 or whatever.
I know, but do we get to fill our own bikes?
I don't know. 你好，我们要60块9R。
摩托车？
对。
60。
身
份证给我一下。
So weird.
Yeah. Shit, mine's in my bag. Can you help me?
Yeah, just a second.
It's in that, that pouch.
Let me just pull mine out. In the front pouch?
No, like open the main bag.
Okay.
And then it's like at the back there, that hidden area.
Yep. Here you go.
Oh, thanks.
This is ridiculous. Is this all of this province or is it just the city?
Who knows? What's that crap on my passport?
They're calling.
It's for 60 kwai's worth of petrol.
$9. $9 worth of gas you gotta
register yourself. You know, when people think about China and they're like, man, it's probably like some restrictive police state. It usually is not like this.
Yeah, this is kind of proving them right, though.
Hopefully our province doesn't pick this up.
Yeah.
好，
好，谢谢你啊。
谢谢。我们现在要给钱吗？好。
加多少钱呢
60
They need to pay.
Maybe 70
What?
70
？9270。
70块 Yeah, one more.
Why?
Because 35.
Okay, you didn't tell them to do that.
Did he fill it already? He didn't do it yet.
Oh. 对，一共是70块。
对，对，
对。
35
I only have 40 on me.
I've got I've got in here. I got specifically. Oh, son of a bitch! It's underneath the cut.
Teething problems, eh?
Yeah. Okay.
One person should just pay and then you get it
Yeah,
from
I
there.
know. Actually, you know what? I got in here. I got my wallet in here. Can you help me with this?
Yep.
Just when I'm blind, you know. Yeah, the less amount of times we have to fill up, the better, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 开发票.
We're up on the screens as well.
好，谢谢。
发票怎么开？
是那个粤 B? Is it 粤 B? No, it's
No,
not.
粤 L.
粤 L. EF 590. 粤 L EF 590.
粤欧。
粤 L L.
粤欧，然后呢？
粤 L
L.
粤 L。
L EF.
叶 F
对。
O。
What the? 590.
I'll just go tell you.
590.
Fucking hell.
不是0 590没有那个0
粤 L E F O
没有 O
没有 O。
Just
So,
you
ooh.
type it.
粤 L E F 590。
对。
Yours is EF 095.
Yeah, but yours is, I'm seeing your one.
才70是吧？
对。谢谢。
Jesus Christ, all that to get gas?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
dude.
finally.
Dude, you have to use a passport to get gas. Then they have to like check it and type it in their phone. Then they have to frickin' what do they just do?
Yeah.
Oh, they have to then register our license plate numbers here. Just to get gas, to like prevent terrorism or some shit.
This is Teapotville again, by the way. It's kind of cool.
It's not. It's annoying as hell.
现在分2个桶装吗？
对，35
好嘞。
好。Oh, can you help me just shove all the shit
Yeah.
back? Just put both of them back in my
Okay.
the rear thing, not in here.
No.
Yeah. That's
Oh, in the whole
yeah,
bag.
yeah,
you mean?
in
Okay.
that like special pouch, and then clip me up. Thanks.
Yeah, okay, so yeah. First of all, I've got to say, we're frustrated. We've been dealing with this kind of thing for years, right? But the staff are super polite and
She's
nice.
so sweet.
Yeah.
Very
No,
nice.
so there's nothing nefarious about the people working here.
No.
It's the system that they have to adhere to that's nefarious and annoying.
Right.
I mean, just look on the building there. There are 2 cameras up there.
Right.
Looks like there's one near the front as well. You saw back there at the bikes, there were 2 above the bikes. There's that one solar-powered one down there, the little PTZ that looks directly at you, at your face and stuff when you park your bike in the motorchu, you know, the motorbike district or whatever it's called, little area, you know? It's everywhere. This teapot thing, though, this is ridiculous. Okay, so
we got to talk about this. This is widespread around China, by the way, but it's only in specific provinces.
Yeah.
So in the Guangdong province, you don't have this.
No.
But as soon as you cross over into Guangxi or you cross over into Hunan or whatever, you get this teapot shit. And up here, obviously in the north, in a lot of places, it's the teapot thing.
Yeah, I used to live in Inner Mongolia. I had to do the same thing.
Yeah, and it goes at some time in the 80s, like some guy's motorcycle caught fire near a pump or something, and so then they made this rule that all motorcycles have to go park far away from the pumps, and then you have to slush around open canisters of gas to get to your bike to fill it up. And you know how many people smoke in China. I feel like it's the stupidest idea ever.
Yeah.
It's the most unsafe thing to be carrying around open gasoline around everywhere.
Certainly is.
But yeah, that's what they did. So you got to do the teapot thing over here, and you have to do all this nonsense so that they make sure that you are not, selling this gas or using this gas for like nefarious.
Well, I
things.
just wanted to point out that there's a massive disconnect.
Yeah.
And the reason that the Communist Party makes laws like this is because someone told them something happened. These people would never have to deal with filling up a motorcycle, the Communist Party officials.
No.
They don't ride motorcycles.
No, it's only for the lower class people.
Yeah. So they come up with these things that are just draconian because they think it's a fix. Little do they know that people are still going to go fill up a car or a bike and then go drain the gas and siphon
Sure.
it out
If
like
they wanted to
do.
do it.
Like
Yeah.
they still do that though.
They do.
Anyway, the point is, what I wanted to say is all this surveillance, these cameras are all set up, right? And before you say, oh, that makes everything safe, what you have to understand is, I'm not talking about you. People always make this stupid comparison. They go, it's tit for tat.
Yeah.
Give up a little of your privacy and you get some safety. Bullshit. Do you know how many motorcycles I've had stolen?
Oh, yeah.
And guess what? All of them were captured on camera being stolen. Do you know how much of that footage that was recovered? 0.
Yeah, every time.
When my apartment was broken into, when I scared the thief off the side of the wall, the security guard, who's very friendly, and I give cigarettes to, and hung out with, and he's nice. Guess what? Oh, he just can't find the footage of the thief with all the CCTV cameras everywhere. Gee, I wonder if he was paid off by the thief. I
Maybe.
wonder.
Yeah, I also feel like it's Chabador. They don't want the hassle.
Yes, also
And
this.
I feel this a lot because that happened when my e-bikes were stolen.
Right.
Like they stole multiple of my bikes out of the parking lot in my old place, and it's just one of those things where I think that they realize that okay, you're dealing with a foreigner and you're dealing with the police, and it's probably more hassle to have it than not. Because if they don't have it, they're just like, we don't know.
We don't know. Well, there's a couple times where we force the building manager to go in and look. And number one, sometimes the cameras aren't even on.
Yeah.
Number two, at that point, they'll actually be able to recover footage. But what they can do with it is a different story. Now, my point is, in actual crime situations, the majority of the time, in my experience, not just with foreigners, and I'm dealing with Chinese people doing this too, because I've had Chinese friends lose stuff too.
Right.
They can't get the footage and the police won't do anything about it anyway.
Yeah.
So these are set up not for that reason.
Yeah,
These
not for
are
security.
These are set up for state security.
Yeah.
These are set up so the government can track every single movement of every single person at all times so that if something is committed against the government, then it can be recovered.
That's
That's
true.
when they take it seriously. And I just wanted to point that out.
You may have noticed that in the shop, on the back of her monitor was these sort of notices.
The pink ones,
Yeah, the
yeah.
pink ones. We translated those, and basically they said, you need motorcycle. It was specifically for motorcycles. Motorcycle riders, you're going to have to produce your Shenfenzheng, your photo ID, and all this kind of stuff. It cannot be expired or anything. But they also had another thing there about cards. Now, you can get like a fuel card that you can use at a lot of these stations. It's kind of like a top-up card.
Yeah,
so
you can do it
you
here
can put
in
like
America.
100 RMB on it, and then you can go to a pump and, fill up your own gas. But they were very specific that you're not allowed to let anyone else use your card. It can only be used for your vehicle. So obviously with all the surveillance stuff, they could tell. Like if your card is obviously tied to you and your ID, and if they see a vehicle that's not yours filling up with your card, then there might be some issues. You know what I
Correct.
mean? It's just
So
ridiculous.
in this case, now the central government knows our face, at what time, where, what vehicles we're riding, what our residence permit says, our entry and exit stamps and our passport, scanned all of our information all over this place.
Yeah.
And then basically knows which direction we're going after that.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's insane.
It is pretty insane.
Very quickly, though, I wanted to say, it looks like Winston might be being a little bit rude in the gas station towards this girl. Now, what the issue is here, he's not. This is how you communicate to someone very, very clearly when there's a misunderstanding. Now, there's no language barrier here. What this is that China uses letters,
Yeah.
A through Z,
Yeah.
just like we do in languages that use the Latin alphabet.
Right.
Now the problem is that a lot of Chinese people, this girl behind the counter, she's probably got at least 8 years of English study under her belt. She should if she went to school, right?
Yeah.
She's probably 18, 20 years old. She's studied English long enough in the Chinese education system to know should be high levels of English if she's passing these exams.
Sure.
Right. The problem is that the nature of how English education works in China is very different.
Written and not spoken.
It's written and not spoken, and even reading, like the comprehension is very low. It's all rote memorization.
Yeah.
So he's trying to say that his license plate says
Yuel.
L,
Yeah.
but he had to say Elo,
Yeah.
and he had to overpronounce even wrong some of these letters just to make her understand.
Yeah. It's also really frustrating. You could see how I'm trying to say like Wu Jiao Ling, and I was even giving her the Chinese Wu Jiao Ling. You know, that's, you know, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In China, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Or 10 like this. It's a bit different. But I was even using that because it's very frustrating. But in Chinese numbers, okay, if you're going to have Chinese numbers, and it can only be from 1 to 0, okay? That's all. There's no other number that sounds like Wu.
No.
So you say Wu,
Wu.
and Wu. You can say Wu, Wu, Wu.
It doesn't
Wu.
matter what
It doesn't
time of
matter
day.
because
There's
there's
only
only
one
one,
number.
that's kind of like, but you know, that's one frustrating thing about Chinese is if you get the tone a little bit wrong, or if they see
Well,
you're
you
a foreigner.
didn't get it wrong, though.
Yeah, if they see you're a foreigner, then there's like a switch that goes off, and like he must be speaking a foreign language.
I've literally had conversations with people
Yeah.
where I get into a taxi or get into a car with someone or something,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, 你是外国人，所以你不会讲中文. So you're a foreigner, you don't
Yeah,
speak Chinese."
yeah.
And I say, "Oh, 我会讲中文，没问题啊." And I said, 师傅，你是哪里人? Where are you from, driver?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like just to have a conversation. He goes,
Sure.
我不懂，我不会英语. I don't speak English. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm
exactly.
like, 我正在说中文，我正在说中文，我跟你讲中文.
Yeah.
I'm speaking Chinese to you now. And he goes, 我不懂你们外国语.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly,
understand your
yeah.
foreign language.
It's funny.
It's a mental block.
Yeah, it is.
It's
it
truly
is.
a mental block.
It really is. So yeah, it gets a little frustrating.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean to be mean or anything.
No, there's no mean. It's just I wanted to point that out. Anyway, so another thing about the gas station lore,
Yeah.
I have never once seen free candy inside of a gas
Yeah,
station. That
that's
is
the
very
first time.
impressive.
Yeah.
And the shop is very limited. You can buy like teapots and things.
I wonder if there's going to be a slew of videos now saying all Chinese gas stations have free candy.
Well,
in them.
that was the first time I had seen it.
Yeah, me too.
So with surveillance, you get a candy.
Yeah. That, what I'm holding there is called a fapiao. Those are tax receipts.
Yeah.
And they're different. You can't use a normal receipt that you get out of a till or out of, you know, you when you buy something, you get a little receipt. That's not legally allowed to be used as a tax receipt. You
No,
have to get
it's a
this thing
government
that's
one.
stamped. And whenever you went into Huajiang Bay, you'd get those like middle-aged women going like,
Fa
"Piao,
piao, fa
piao,
piao."
piao,
It's
piao."
all over. You see graffiti. Remember that drug graffiti we had?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
fa piao graffiti all over too.
So,
you can
yeah.
buy receipts
Yeah.
with government stamps on them, and then you can get your. It's basically a way for government officials to scam the CCP.
Or just office workers.
Or office workers,
Because
yeah.
that's the thing. If you go to Huajiang Bay, you're buying a computer for your office or something, right? And if you buy a computer and it costs 100 RMB, it'll never be that cheap, but whatever. You go to the Fapiao women and then you
Receipt
buy
women.
receipts from them. So
Yes, you buy receipts.
buy tax receipts of
Yes.
like 1,000 RMB.
Right.
Then when you go back to your work, you give the receipts
Correct.
for 1,000 and they'll reimburse you.
Correct. Sometimes the waitress will come at the end and they'll be talking about stuff. Instead of like, let's say the dinner costs like 500 RMB,
Yeah.
they'll give them a stack of 4,000 RMB tax receipt tickets.
Yes.
What they do is they go and claim that at the party office, and they get all that money as a tax break. Even
Oh,
though-
and even better, flip that on its head. Sometimes you're at a restaurant.
yeah,
And when you finish your meal, you ask for the tax receipts,
Yeah.
but the restaurant might not want to give that to you because then they
Yes.
have to pay tax. So they'll be like, how about we just give you a free drink instead?
Right.
Or we just give you like this much discount
Right.
and then without getting the tax receipt.
Buyong fa piao.
Yeah, buyong fa piao.
They would always ask
Song
us.
Geni, you know.
Yeah,
yeah, like, then they'll give you some like beer or some
Right,
shit. We
right.
never needed them, so we're like, sure, give
Yeah,
us
buyong fa
give
piao.
us-
We can't
yeah,
use them.
Yeah, give us that beer.
Right.
It's just kind of interesting. Oh, and another thing is, when I was asking for the fa piao, remember, like, how many times have I said we wanted like qisha kwai or whatever?
Yeah, 70 RMB.
Yeah, was it did I qisha wu or qisha? I can't remember.
Qisha,
Qisha,
yeah.
yeah. So I asked for qisha. Even after all that, after we've paid the money, all that hassle,
all
we
done.
paid it, and then she asked me like, "How much do you want on
Right.
the fa piao? Was it
Right.
qisha?"
Right.
And I think that's a cue for me to say like, no, put it down as 200 or something,
Right.
So that I can then go claim more
Right.
from my boss or something like that.
Right.
You know,
I
because
just-
why would she keep asking me that?
Absolutely. The last thing I
Yeah.
want to point out is that even it was confusing for her
Yeah.
because like all this rigmarole and all this crap, even after all this, she thinks it's all done. She's like, "Oh, I need your license plate number now."
Yeah,
that's
so,
true.
Anyway, let's finish this bit up here and see what happens next. But again, this whole idea of taking an open canister of gas across the forecourt like this is just ridiculous to me, and it always has been. It's like there's no common sense here. It's stupid.
Right.
It's just dumb. So I really wish they'd change this in China. You know.
好了，
谢谢，
谢谢啊，再见。
再见。
Thanks, man. I love how safe this is. An
Isn't it?
open container of petrol. This one's like really open as well.
Yep. Okay. Fill her up.
Do it. I hope it's enough.
We could definitely get more, but whatever.
No, I mean like enough for us to get out of this draconian state. Oh shit! Shit, a brick. This wouldn't happen if we used a nozzle at a pump.
Nope. We gotta bring these back or put them here?
Leave them here. They were here on the side
Oh,
here.
are they?
So, you know, I spilled a little bit of petrol on my tank there, and I thought I'd go ask and see if they had a tissue available, because, you know, that's one thing about China. Tissues are never free. You
Yeah.
know, but you'd think maybe in a gas station they'd have some kind of like towel or
Towels and
something
paper
that
towels,
you could
yeah.
use, but no. You'll see in a minute like exactly what that's all about.
你好，有没有纸巾？
You're gonna have to go buy them.
Yeah.
到里面去要吧。
啊，是吗？啊，算了。
Yeah, so I said Swanler because he was like, go inside to get one. I didn't want to go through the hassle.
No.
But yeah, they just get stolen off the forecourt if they were there by the lost generation. They'll go there and like one person will take all the paper towels. So they just don't have that kind of thing available.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this is us leaving the gas station. We're about to go on to our journey into the city, which
Yep.
we had to be very careful since
Super
motorcycles were banned. That one says, 构建新常态，是安班你行。与你共创国家食品安全城市. This just basically means like make a good routine, make a normal routine to make the food safety city of China.
Yeah, I'm glad you read that because I would have read that as Xieni because, you know, Xie looks the same as you but with the
right,
little cap
right.
on top.
Yeah.
That means right, though. So that would have been wrong. And it looks like the other one there is that's the same one from before. You
Yeah.
know, they're like hand in hand. Let's
you
do
and me
this.
hand in hand. Let's
Yeah.
make it
Anyway, what
food
I was
safety
saying
city.
is like I had gotten in contact with this group of motorcycle riders, and their whole thing was because Qingdao had clamped down on bikes and was actually, you know, doing the whole thing trying to clear it out. Their whole little WeChat group was spotting where the cops are, so they'd be like, "Oh, don't go down this road because they're taking bikes on this road." So that's how I actually got the information for us to ship our bikes up to Qingdao. So remember, we started our whole northern kind of adventure from Qingdao.
Yeah.
And it was only from that group of like cop dodgers, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, that we got this. So yeah, we were in touch with them and stuff, and that's how we got into the city because we had to go through some bike ban zones to get to the
That's right.
to where we were going. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess.
Yeah, just wanted to say this is hopefully interesting to you guys. It's fun for us to go down memory lane a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But it was also very alarming when we're looking back a little bit at this. We were like, you know what? This was kind of the beginning of when things started to get very, very bad. I would say things started to get really bad in 2014, 2015.
Sure.
But with the surveillance state tech stuff, it was around this time, like a
Yeah.
little bit later, like 2018 era.
Yeah.
Very bad.
I mean, just think about it again, guys. To get whatever $8-9 worth of petrol/gasoline, we had to go through all of that. You saw how long that took.
Yeah.
And then we had to waddle around with teapots and all this other nonsense. You just have to understand again, if you're the kind of person who's just visiting as a tourist, or maybe you live in the city of Qingdao, you know, as a foreigner, live in your little bubble, you don't know this kind of stuff because you're not doing it, right?
Sure.
And so you might think, just on the surface that things in China are great and free. Because like if you can't read anything and you see what's around you like this, you see couples walking on the road, you see people just carrying on with their daily lives, but you're not there having to go through all the hassle interacting with the locals and seeing what those local people that look like they're having a great time are putting up with. You don't have to put up with all the restrictions of the hukou system, which is a residence system. If you come from out of town, you cannot, do anything in the city. You don't get any kind of social anything. You can't go to school there, send your kids to school. You can't do anything like that. It's tough. It's really tough for the local people.
It's rigid.
Yeah, it's very rigid. And so
if you don't have, like, a lot of these people, they have their wives or secretaries, basically. Imagine, like, you're a factory dude. You go over there and you have a secretary that goes and translates everything for you.
Yeah.
You're a foreigner that makes videos for China, let's say.
Oh, sure.
You're getting ferried around on these government trips that put you up in hotels. They translate. They tell you this. It seems so convenient, but it's because you're getting treated like royalty because China wants everyone to think that's how Chinese life is.
You're not filling up your own motorcycle with gas, because you're being ferried around in cars, being driven around in buses, cars, whatever.
And you have no idea what's going on around
you. And you can't read the propaganda signs around you that are basically saying down with America or whatever it is.
Right.
You can't read that, so you wouldn't think anything's bad, So, yeah.
Anyway, a little perspective.
Keep an open mind. We hope you enjoyed this, We hope that you could get a little bit of insight into what goes on in China through these. We're going to do more of these.
Yeah.
We thought here on the ADV China channel, we're going to go back and go through a lot of these because it's quite fascinating. A lot of the signs and things that you just pass by when you're writing, you don't pay attention.
No.
Because we're not writing there like, we're reading it all the time.
I mean, we pick up on it, but we're not talking about it.
No, but
so
now we will.
Good.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you in the next one, guys. Until then, you know the drill. As always, stay awesome.
As I'm editing this, I realized Winston cut himself off as usual. I think he said we wanted to say something like stay cool or stay hip. I can't remember. Anyway, see you guys in the next video.